Traders, I am Stephen Davis, Senior Market Strategist, RJO Futures. Friday here, talk to you about the grain markets. What a rally in July soybeans and July soybean meal. First, we're going to talk about the corn market. Most of our corn here in USA is planted now, and there's not any weather problems as far as the eye can see. One thing I do want to mention about corn, exports were out this morning, very good number, above expectations, so exports in corn are important. I want to mention Brazil this morning. They're a big corn exporter usually, but the dry weather over there has cringed Brazil's exports in corn. They're buying corn from USA. Perhaps this can continue. There's a lot of chicken, a lot of poultry in Brazil, and they need corn for feed. And now with this dryness, they really don't have the corn crop that they typically have. So that's a good story for U.S. corn demand. We'll keep talking about that. Soybean market, what a rally in July soybeans, July soybean meal. Some of the news wires that I read last night worried about a drought. Certainly South America is a concern. So let's talk about a few things that we do know. Argentina had major rain during their harvest. Brazil, it was hot. We talked about that. We've had 3 years of good production here, good supply, and okay demand. Now demand continues to go, and now the market is concerned about supply, and hence the rally in soybeans. Buy some acres here in USA in soybean and curb the demand for soybean, higher prices, and you'll use some alternative feeds. So this is a good story. Soybean meal, when it trades like this, parabolic, and there's not a shortage of soybean meal anywhere in the world. So this is very, very fascinating. But there's some short covering going on. Soybean meal's up 50% for the year. And like I touched on last week, Vietnam's the biggest soybean meal importer in Asia, and they're stuck on some of these purchases, and they got to buy soybean meal up here at higher prices. So there's some big commercials, in my opinion, that are stuck short soybean meal, and they got to pay up in higher prices, hence the demand. Certainly money flow is a big part of this, short covering, and Wednesday we had a big rally in corn and beans, and open interest went up. So it wasn't a lot of new news or new reports, new export news, so it seemed to me more money coming into the corn and soybean complex. This is a good story. This summer should continue to be very, very volatile. Okay, soybean meal. It's the protein that the world wants. This isn't going to change in our lifetime. Chinese consumer now, they're very important. This is the Chinese century, and the Chinese consumer, maybe the most important consumer in the world today. And just like here in USA, the consumer gets what he wants, and he wants protein, and that's what he's going to get. Hence the demand for soybean and soybean meal. Hershey's, the big chocolate company in our country, and we all recognize that name, they announced this week they're going to go into beef. So the protein in the beef market. So real interesting here, just what I talk about. Protein, here's a big chocolate, a big candy company integrating and getting into beef and protein. And I think that says a very, very much. Looking ahead here, any hot and dry scenarios on weather, and we're making this weather cycle change, so you're starting to hear hot and dry, and the markets, soybeans and corn, are going to pay much attention to this summer. Hot and dry scenarios is going to scare some investors, some traders, so we'll keep talking about that each week. Everybody have an excellent weekend. Thank you. Futures and options on futures may involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for all investors.